I slammed the engagement ring onto the polished mahogany table, the diamond catching the chandelier light like a middle finger to the whole damn room. If you think you can pawn me off like yesterday's stock to save his sorry ass, you're dead wrong. My mother's gasp was the only sound before the fork clattered from my father's hand, and in that split-second silence, I saw it all, the lies we'd buried for years, clawing their way out like weeds through concrete. It was the night everything cracked open. The kind of family dinner that starts with small talk about the Bears game and ends with you questioning if blood really is thicker than the ink on a prenup. We were the Harrisons, your classic Midwest dynasty, old money from steel mills that morphed into real estate flips in the 90s boom.
Dad.
Victor ran the show from our sprawling ranch style in Oak Park, Illinois. The kind of place with a 3-car garage and a lawn that could swallow a minivan.
Mom.
Elaine handled the social calendar. PTA fundraisers by day. Junior league brunches where she'd whisper about the neighbors' divorces like they were stock tips. And then there was Golden Boy. My brother Ethan, 6 years older.
Yale MBA.
The one who could do no wrong unless it involved a bottle of Macallan and a bad bet.
Me?
Riley Harrison. The afterthought. The fixer. The one who mopped up the messes while Ethan got the parade. Growing up, it was always Ethan's got the brains or Riley's got the heart, perfect for nursing school. I didn't go to Yale. I hustled through community college at Harper, then clawed my way into a marketing gig at a Chicago ad firm. Steady paycheck. No fireworks.
Until Jake.
Jake Riley, Irish firecracker with a corner office at a boutique law firm downtown. The kind of guy who quotes Springsteen lyrics over IPAs at the empty bottle. We met at a Cubs game tailgate 3 years back, both of us screaming obscenities at a ump's blind call. 6 months in, he proposed on the L train platform at Addison, down on one knee amid the rumble of the Red Line, with a ring he'd saved for on ramen budgets. It was perfect. Messy. Real.
Us.
Our wedding was 6 months out, intimate. Backyard affair at the house. Wildflowers and craft bourbon for the guests. I'd even let Mom guilt me into registering at Crate and Barrel. That's when the whispers started. Ethan's business venture in crypto had tanked harder than the '08 crash. He was in deep with some Vegas sharks, loans from guys named Gino who didn't take IOUs. Dad's real estate slush fund was tapped out propping him up, and the family books were bleeding red. I didn't know the half of it then. Not the secret I'd carried like a kidney stone since I was 16. It was a humid August night in 2009, the kind where the air sticks to your skin like regret. Ethan, 22 and fresh off a summer internship at Dad's firm, came home reeking of stale smoke and cheaper bourbon than we kept in the liquor cabinet. He stumbled into the kitchen at 2 a.m., eyes wild, muttering about a sure thing at the track that wasn't. I was up cramming for my SATs. The kitchen table buried under flashcards and empty Red Bull cans. Riley, he slurred, collapsing into a chair. I fucked up. Big time. I should have walked away. But that's not how we Harrisons roll. He spilled it, a side hustle fencing knockoff watches out of the trunk of his Beamer. Small potatoes until a buyer turned out to be undercover. Feds raided his off-campus apartment that afternoon. Nothing stuck. But the evidence trail led back to Dad's garage, where Ethan had stashed the goods. Wire fraud. Interstate transport bullshit. 10 years if it went federal. Dad'll kill me, he whimpered, head in hands. The firm's tainted. Everything. I was 16. Idealistic as hell. Binging Law and Order reruns. Tell him the truth. He'll fix it. Ethan's laugh was bitter. broken. You don't get it.
Kid.
This buries us all. He grabbed my arm, eyes pleading. Say it was you. Your stupid mall job cash. Your side gig selling crap online. You're clean. They'll slap your wrist. Community service. I'll pay you back. Swear. I yanked free. Heart pounding. You're insane. Why would I? For family, that word. Like a gut punch. The one Dad drilled into us. Harrisons protect Harrisons. Ethan was the heir. The future.
Me?
Interchangeable. I thought of Mom's tears at his high school graduation. Dad's handshake that sealed his spot at Yale. One lie, and it all stayed intact. By dawn, I was in the principal's office at school, anonymous tip about stolen goods in my locker. Cops came, searched the house, found the watches in a box labeled Riley's Crafts. Juvenile record sealed, but the stain stuck. Whispers at church. Mom's forced smiles at parent-teacher nights. Ethan straightened up overnight, aced his boards, landed that internship. Golden boy intact. I never told. Not Jake. Not my best friend Mia from the firm. It festered. A quiet rot. But family, right? Until the dinner. Dad cleared his throat. Silverware tinkling like wind chimes in a storm. Riley, sweetheart.
Sit down.
This isn't what you think. I stayed standing. Arms crossed over my silk blouse, the one Mom picked out for, looking presentable. The ring sat there, mocking us all. Then enlighten me. Why else would you invite Jake here? Feed him that line about reconsidering the merger like he's a goddamn acquisition. Ethan shifted in his seat, that boyish grin flashing, charm offensive #1. Sis, it's not personal. Just business. Jake, bless him, had clocked it first. We'd driven in together from our Wicker Park walk-up, his hand on my knee the whole way, humming along to NPR's Wait, Wait. Don't tell me. But at the door, Dad clapped him on the back too hard, Mom's hug lingering like she was sizing up livestock. Over appetizers, deviled eggs, and that spinach dip she swears by, the pitch dropped. Ethan's startup needed seed money.
Badly.
A strategic alliance with Jake's firm, pro bono hours, investor intros. In exchange, rethink the timeline on that engagement. Family first. Son. Jake's jaw had tightened, but he played cool, Midwestern polite. Appreciate the offer, Mr. Harrison. But Riley and I were solid. That's when I excused myself to the powder room, eavesdropped from the hall. Dad's voice. Low and oily. Boy. Ethan's the legacy. Riley's. Adaptable. Marry into the Carsons. Old money. Stable. Keeps things in the family portfolio. Betrayal hit like lake effect snow, not just them pimping me out, but the echo of that night 16 years ago. I'd taken the fall for Ethan's greed, and now this, collateral for his next grift. Back in the dining room, Mom dabbed her eyes with a napkin. We're just looking out for you, honey. Jake's ambitious, but volatile. Remember his firm's last case? That whistleblower mess. Leave Jake out of it, I snapped. This is about Ethan. Again, Ethan leaned in, voice smooth as the bourbon in his glass. Come on. It's one favor. Like old times. Old times. The code for the lie we'd never named. My blood turned to ice water. Old times? You mean when I lied for you? Covered your ass so you could play Yale Golden Boy while I scrubbed toilets for restitution hours. The room froze. Dad's fork hovered midair. Mom's hand flew to her pearls. Ethan's smile cracked. Just a hair, enough to see the panic underneath. Riley, Dad barked, the patriarch voice that shut down boardrooms. That's ancient history. Water under the bridge. Bridge. I laughed. Sharp and ugly. You built your empire on that water, Dad. And now you want me to drown for it again? Marry some Carson drones so Ethan can launder his debts through their trusts. Jake stood then, chair polite scraping his. I think we're done here. Riley, but I wasn't.
Not yet.
The hook had set. Now came the reel.
No. Sit.
We're airing it all. I turned to Ethan, the brother I'd idolized once. The one who taught me to ride a bike on our gravel driveway. Tell them, Ethan. Or should I? His eyes darted, charm to calculation in a blink.
Don't.
Please. Too late. The words tumbled out. A dam burst after 16 years. The watches, the feds, my locker setup. The kitchen plea at 2 a.m. Mom's face drained to ash. Dad's knuckles white on his water glass.
Ethan?
He just stared. That cunning flip starting the victim card. It wasn't like that, he said, voice pitching up. The Yale polish cracking. I was young.
Scared.
You offered. I offered. Fury blinded me. You begged. And they knew. I wheeled on my parents. Didn't you? The garage search, Ethan's prints were all over those boxes. But you buried it. Sealed my record. Not his. Because he was the heir. Dad's sigh was weary. The sigh of a man who'd justified worse. We protected the family. Riley. All of us. Protected. The word twisted like a knife. Jake's hand found mine under the table, solid. Real. But the room spun with what-ifs. What if I'd said no back then? What if Ethan had manned up?
And now?
This marriage ploy, another layer of the same rot. I'm out, I said, snatching the ring. Not for Jake, for me. Call off the wedding if you want. But Ethan's debts? His secrets? You're on your own. As Jake and I stormed out into the rain-slicked driveway, thunder rumbling over Lake Michigan's distant shore, I heard Ethan's voice behind us, soft,
pleading. Wait.
We can fix this.
Fix.
Like always. But this time, the fixer was done. End of file 1, word count, 1012. The drive back to the city was a blur of taillights on I-90 and Jake's quiet fury. His knuckles white on the wheel of his beat-up Accord. You should have told me. All of it. I know. Rain hammered the windshield like accusations. We pulled into our spot under the L tracks. The L rumbling overhead like the storm in my chest. Up in the apartment, exposed brick. IKEA shelves sagging with law books and my half-read copy of The Handmaid's Offred. I paced the living room. Jake brewing tea in our kettle that whistled like a kettlebell to the gut. He handed me a mug. Chamomile steaming. So,
what now?
We elope? Flip and the bird with a Vegas chapel? I sipped, the heat burning my tongue.
Tempting.
But revenge isn't a quickie wedding, it's a slow burn. The kind that leaves scars you admire in the mirror.
No.
They want to play family chess? I'll queen the board. By morning, the texts rolled in, Mom's weepy emojis. Dad's curt, We need to talk. Ethan's novel-length apology. I was lost.
Sis.
Let me make it right. Dinner this week. Charm offensive. Round 2. I ghosted them all. Threw myself into work. Pitched a campaign for a local brewery, hoppy ads with taglines like bitter roots, bold brews. Mia high-fived me in the break room. Damn.
Girl.
Channeling that Harrison fire. But nights were harder. Jake snoring softly beside me. I'd stare at the ceiling fan worrying like conspiracy theories. Ethan's flip wasn't just charm, it was survival. The boy who'd begged in the kitchen had morphed into a man who'd weaponized tears. And the Carsons? Old money from Indiana steel. The kind Dad courted at country club galas. Marrying their daughter, Prim. Pearl-clutching Penelope. Would have locked in alliances. Forgiven Ethan's markers.
Me?
The pawn sacrificed for the king's gambit. A week later, the bomb dropped. Anonymous email to my inbox at work, forwarded chain from Dad's firm server. Subject: Asset protection YH. Exposure. Dates from 2009. Ethan's name redacted in places. But the bones were there. Wire transfers to shell accounts. Juvenile diversion notes pinned on me. And a kicker, Dad's sign-off. Handle quietly. Legacy intact. Mia caught me printing it in the copy room. Face like I'd seen a ghost. Holy shit. Blackmail material? Receipts, I muttered. But it wasn't enough. Revenge needed teeth, sharp, personal. I started digging. Old school. Public records at the county clerk's. Late nights on Pacer for federal dockets. Ethan's crypto venture? A Ponzi light. Sucking in Dad's clients, retirees from the old mill town. Nest eggs vaporized. Complaints filed, but hushed with NDAs and restructuring fees. Then the call came. Jake's firm. His extension lighting up during our takeout tie. Babe, it's for you. Victor Harrison. Dad never called my cell. I patched it through speaker. Chopsticks paused midair. Riley. Enough games.
Come home.
We sort this. Sort what? Your prodigal son's tab. Static crackled. Then Mom's voice, tear-choked. Please. Honey. Ethan's.
He's spiraling.
The stress. Stress? I barked a laugh. Try covering felonies at 16. Silence. Then Dad. That was a mistake. We own it. But dragging it up now? It buries us all. Buries. The word again. I hung up, heart hammering. Jake pulled me close, his lawyer brain kicking in. File it. Civil suit, fraud, emotional distress. Make 'em pay.
Tempting.
But lawsuits are public, scandals splash like oil spills.
No.
This needed intimate destruction, the kind that hollows from inside. I waited 2 weeks. Let the silence fester. Then, on a crisp October Friday, I showed at the house unannounced. Leaves crunching under my boots. The rancher loomed like a guilty conscience. Pumpkins on the stoop. Mom's Halloween wreath mocking the decay. Ethel answered. Our housekeeper since I was in diapers. Flour-dusted apron from pie baking. Miss Riley. They didn't say. Surprise. I slipped her a 20 for the movies. Headed straight for Ethan's old room, now his home office, wall of monitors glowing like a war room. He was there, tie loosened, scrolling spreadsheets. Looked up. That flip again, surprise to warmth in a heartbeat. God. I missed you. Missed. as if we'd fought over curfew. I shut the door, leaned against it. Cut the shit. I know about the Ponzi. The widows in Gary, Mrs. Kowalski. Remember? Babysat us. Lost her house. His face shuddered. Calculation mode. Exaggerated. Market dip. I'm fixing it. With my engagement as collateral, I tossed the printouts on his desk, the emails, the dockets. Or Dad's. He scanned them, jaw tightening. Not panic, defiance. You think this scares me? We're family. Blood. Blood. I stepped closer. Voice low. You bled me dry at 16. And they let you. Ethan stood, towering, the big brother stance, meant to intimidate. I was protecting you. All of you. Dad's firm was crumbling pre-crash. Those watches? Seed money for the flip that saved us. Liar. But doubt flickered. Had he? The timeline fit. Dad's big Evanston deal. Post-raid. Coincidence? Or calculus? He softened, hand on my shoulder. Listen. The Carsons, it's not pimping. Pen's great. And it stabilizes everything. You and Jake? Timing's off. Wait a year.
A year.
I shrugged him off. While you grift grandmas? His eyes hardened, the flip complete, charm to venom. Ungrateful bitch. I carried you. Yale debt? I paid half. Your shitty apartment? Dad's sublet. Lies stacked like Jenga. But the venom stuck.
A barb.
I left shaking, drove to Jake's office, rain again, wipers slapping like slaps. He met me in the lobby. Raincoat over scrubs, no. Wait. Jake's suits. What's the play? Escalation, I said. Hired a PI that weekend, ex-Chicago PD. Rates like a hitman. $5,000 retainer. Digging Ethan's digital trail, offshore accounts in the Caymans, burner phones pinging Vegas. The report landed mid-November. Ethan wasn't just in debt. He was laundering for Gino's crew. Small-time bookie ops, but federal bait if traced. Armed, I called a family summit. Neutral ground, the gauge. Downtown steakhouse, dark wood, jazz humming. The scent of seared ribeye masking the rot. Dad in his Brooks Brothers blazer. Mom's pearls like armor. Ethan casual in chinos, playing the prodigal returned. Over fillets, medium rare. Blood pooling like accusations, I slid the PI dossier across the white linen. Your legacy.
Dad.
Ethan's side hustle. Dad flipped pages. Face granite. Mom whimpered into her napkin.
Ethan smirked.
Freelance consulting. Harmless. Harmless. I leaned in. Voice steel. Feds don't think so. Wire fraud. Again. Ring a bell? The flip came fast. Ethan to Dad. Eyes pleading. It's nothing. Riley's twisting. Twisting. Dad's voice boomed. Low thunder. This is prison time. Son. Mom's sob broke the air.
Why, Ethan?
After everything. He cracked then real. Or the best act yet. Tears. Shoulders slumping. I tried. The crypto bombed. Gino's guys, they don't forget. It was borrow. Pay back double. For us. For us. The hook again. Dad's eyes met mine, not patriarch, but man-cornered. What do you want? Riley? Money? The firm? Justice. The word hung, Controversial as hell.
Sue?
Snitch or swallow it? Family first? Jake's hand under the table. Anchor. But the room split. Mom's pleas for mercy. Dad's pragmatic hush. Ethan's victim wail. No heroes. Just survivors clawing.
I give you to Dawn, I said.
Turn yourself in, Ethan. Or I do. As we filed out into the loop's neon chill, Thanksgiving lights twinkling like false hope, I wondered, was this revenge? Or just trading one chain for another? The ultimatum hung like fog over Lakeshore Drive, thick and choking. December crept in. Chicago's wind off the lake biting like unpaid debts. Jake and I hunkered down, Thanksgiving at his folks in Bridgeport. Turkey and sarcasm from his dad, a retired cop who eyed me like fresh meat. Heard about the Harrisons. Old Vic's always been a shark. Shark with a leaky boat, Jake muttered, carving the bird. I forced smiles. Past mashed potatoes. But my mind looped the dinner. Ethan's tears real? Or crocodile? Prepping the snap? No word from home. Radio silence. Colder than the Dickens on State Street Parade. Work blurred, holiday pitches for eggnog brands. Mia dragging me to wreath making at the Christ Kindle Market. Screw him. You're the star now. Star? Felt more like black hole. Sucking light. Christmas Eve. Jake strung lights on our fire escape. Sinatra crooning from the Bluetooth speaker. To us, he toasted with spiked cider. Ring back on my finger, mine now. Not theirs. But dawn broke with a voicemail. Ethan's voice. Ragged. I did it. Walked into the field office this morning. Feds have the docs. Tell Mom. I'm sorry. Heart stopped. I called Dad. Line dead. Race to Oak Park. Jake tailing in his Accord. The house loomed. Lights off. Driveway empty save Mom's Lexus. Crooked like a drunk. She answered wild-eyed. Robe askew. Riley.
He's gone.
Said he couldn't face it.
Gone.
Not jail, vanished. Ethan's desk cleared. Monitors dark. A single post-it. Fix what I broke. Love. Panic clawed. Dad? Missing too. Mom babbled. Ethan's confession at breakfast. Dad's rage. A slammed door. He took the gun from the study. Hunting rifle.
Said.
Loose ends.
Gun.
The word detonated. We searched. Closets empty. Safe cracked. Passports.
Cash gone.
PI on speed dial. Cayman's flight manifest. Harrison. Solo. 10 a.m.
Fled.
To paradise. Leaving us in hell. Mom collapsed. Wailing, the sound of a mother unmoored. Jake called his firm. Trace assets.
Now.
But me? Fury boiled to something darker. Betrayal squared. Not just the lie. The grift. But abandonment. Golden boy. Cutting lines like a rat. I drove to the federal building. Snow flurrying like confetti at a funeral. Agent Ramirez, stocky. No nonsense. Coffee breath met me in a sterile conference room. Miss Harrison. Your brother's statement?
Gold.
Laundering op dismantled. But he's ghosted. Find him. Voice cracked. He framed me once. Covered for him. Now this. Ramirez nodded. Scribbling. Family's messy. We'll pull strings. Interpol if he surfaces. Back home. Mom sedated on the couch. Jake fielding calls from Dad's partners, firm in limbo. Clients bolting like rats. I slipped upstairs to Ethan's room. The air stale with his cologne. Under the desk, a floorboard loose. Pried it up. Envelope. My name in his scrawl. Inside, a flash drive and a letter. Riley, if you're reading this, I ran. Weak. I know. But truth? The watches weren't mine. Dad's. Skimming clients. Pre-crash. I took the heat to shield him. Begged you to front because you were the soft touch. He knew. We all did. The Ponzi? Same play, his debts. My name. Legacy's a curse. Sis. Burn it down. Or join it. Forgive? Nah. But understand. Cash on the drive, you're cut. Start over. Ethan. Twist like a shank. Dad the architect? All along? The secret I'd borne his crime. Layered lies. Mom stirring downstairs. Oblivious or complicit. The drive. $200,000 in crypto keys. Blood money. Jake found me there. Letter trembling. Holy fuck. Evidence. But handing it over? Betrayed my betrayer, Dad now. Or keep it. Flip the script? New Year's loomed. Fireworks over Navy Pier popping like gunfire. I chose. Wire the feds anonymous stocks. Drive contents minus the cash. Called Mom. Tell Dad it's over. I'm done. He surfaced days later, surrendered at the same office. Face haggard. Suit rumpled. Charges piled. Fraud. Conspiracy. Mom, stuck in the middle. Pleading no contest, accessory after the fact. Ethan, apprehended in Nassau. Tanned and tearful on CNN. Family pressures, he spun to reporters. Flip eternal. Trial split the city, headlines screaming, Harrison heist, Midwest dynasty crumbles. Pundits debated, victims or villains. Dad's lawyer painted him savior. Weathering crashes. Ethan's? Prodigal pawn. Me? The whistleblower daughter. Hailed in op-eds. Hounded by tabloids. Jake and I married in April, small. Lakeside in Michigan. Wildflowers nodding. No Harrisons. But the twist lingered. That cash. Tucked in a Roth IRA. Funding our down payment on a Lincoln Park brownstone. Tainted? Maybe. But power's a drug. And I was hooked. Years on. Mom visits. Awkward brunches at Wildberry. Her eyes darting like apologies. Dad writes from Club Fed. Golf course prison. Proud of you. Kid. Fixed what I broke. Ethan? Paroled early. Reformed TED Talk circuit. Hawking blockchain ethics. Me? CEO now. My ad firm booming. Campaigns for whistleblower apps. Tagline. Truth pays. Jake's partner. 2 kids with his grin. But nights. Staring at the skyline's glow. I wonder, did I avenge? Or ascend? Family's fall birthed my rise. Controversial crown. Thorns and all. No one's all right. Or wrong. That's the American dream. Fractured and fierce.